When we think of serial killers, we often imagine lone wolves stalking their prey. However, some of the most heinous crimes have been committed by killer couples. Today, we'll talk about the chilling tale of Kim Edwards and Lucas Markham, ominously dubbed the Twilight Killers, which leaves an icy sensation down your spine. Their heinous crimes, committed in 2016, sent terrifying tremors throughout the quaint English county of Lincolnshire. What makes their story particularly shuddering is not just their tender age of 14 at the time they committed the murders, but the innocent ages of their victims. In a chilling confession to a therapist, Kim expressed her sinister satisfaction. "I yearned for revenge for the way she treated me. I had absolutely no warmth in my heart for my mom. In fact, I'm relieved she's gone. She had it coming." Tracing back to the genesis of their animosity, we find ourselves in 2008. Kim, a mere 6 years old, got embroiled in a domestic altercation with her mother that escalated into a physical assault. After this chilling incident, Elizabeth Edwards self-referred to social services, leading to the temporary placement of both Kim and her sister Katie into foster care. However, the case was soon dismissed, and the family unit seemed to reassemble as if nothing had ever happened. But beneath this veneer of normalcy, the mother-daughter relationship between Elizabeth and Kim was anything but tranquil. Kim had flirted with the idea of escaping her home life, expressing her fears to support staff about her mother's threatening behavior, which she claimed included attempts at strangulation. When Kim left a suicide note, her panic-stricken mother sought immediate psychiatric intervention. However, much to everyone's surprise, the doctors found no trace of mental illness in Kim's assessment. With an air of regret, Kim reflected on the harsh words her mother often hurled at her, claiming she would end up just like her absent father, who had abandoned the family when she was only an infant. These bitter pronouncements fueled regular, fiery disputes between mother and daughter, causing their relationship to further fracture. Adding to this volatile mix, Elizabeth Edwards was vocal in her disapproval of Kim's blossoming romance with Lucas Markham. This disapproval served only to drive a deeper wedge between them. A momentous event marked their youthful defiance when the couple ran away together, only to be found later that night hidden away in a woodland north of their picturesque Lincolnshire home. Elizabeth, seemingly possessed with a mother's intuitive dread, prophetically described Kim and Lucas as time bombs waiting to explode. Meanwhile, Kim was gradually sinking into a quagmire of despair. In a tragic turn of events in March 2016, she attempted to silence her pain through a suicide attempt, swallowing a lethal cocktail of medications. After surviving this desperate act, Kim and Lucas took a chilling turn towards the macabre. Together, they began to devise a meticulous and cold-blooded plan to murder those closest to Kim. In the grim month of April 2016, Lucas Markham undertook a short journey that would irrevocably alter lives and send chills through their peaceful Lincolnshire community. Slipping into his girlfriend's house through a bathroom window, he proceeded to her mother's bedroom. With chilling calmness, he proceeded to repeatedly stab Elizabeth in the neck, muffling her dying screams with a pillow. Elizabeth didn't go quietly. She fought back fiercely, clawing at her attacker and attempting to flee the grisly fate that awaited her. After dealing with the fatal blows to Elizabeth, he turned his murderous intent toward the sleeping form of Katie, Kim's sister. In a haunting admission, Kim divulged, "I thought it would be better if my sister left this world too." She clarified, "I didn't want Katie dead out of rage. I loved her and still do, but I had been longing for my mother's death." Rumors abounded about the unnerving bond between Edwards and Markham, about how they were nearly inseparable and about how Elizabeth was petrified of her daughter's lover. But what could possibly have ignited such a terrifying spark in these young hearts? What could drive two adolescents to commit such a nightmarish crime? Britain's Deadliest Kids, set to air on Quest Red, delves into this dark mystery, examining the potential catalysts that may have driven the young couple to their gruesome deeds. Adam Free, a former friend, offers a chilling perspective, hinting at Markham's unhealthy obsession with a past tragedy, the brutal murder of his father and the subsequent acquittal of the culprits. In 2014, Warren Free, a mere 42 years old, fell victim to a brutal assault outside his own home while defending his property from a gang of delinquents. His life was cruelly snuffed out with a metal rod, and his body was left broken. Warren's household was located just next door to Elizabeth and her young daughters. The following year, a group of 6 youths, an 18-year-old, 2 15-year-olds, a 17-year-old, and 2 girls of 15 faced a trial. They were all shockingly acquitted of Warren's murder and manslaughter. The court heard that Warren had been in a dispute with the accused over property vandalism, and their lawyers argued they acted in self-defense. Addison provides a chilling insight. Lucas shared my grief over my father's death, but he was unnaturally curious about the events and, more importantly, how they escaped punishment. This skewed perspective offered a dangerous parallel to their own crime. As former crime correspondent Paul Cheston explains, Lucas's friends have suggested he became fixated with the previous case, which unfolded shortly before his own murderous acts. Could Lucas have misguidedly drawn inspiration from this tragedy? Some suspect he harbored a twisted belief that he, too, could commit murder and escape retribution. Elizabeth, Kim's mother and the first casualty of the young couple's chilling act, was known to harbor an intense dread of her daughter's boyfriend. Her partner, Graham Greene, shared she was terrified of him. He had a temper that was really quite frightening. Graham, left shell-shocked and broken by the ghastly turn of events, confessed that he had never fully trusted Markham. His pain was evident as he recalled, "Elizabeth and I were planning our wedding. We could have spent the next 30 years together. But Lucas and Kim shattered everything." The program also reveals that Markham was transferred to a small, specialized unit for students grappling with behavioral issues in the summer of 2015. Following his mother's cancer-related death, there was a period of constant bullying at school. The couple's seemingly inseparable connection also raised eyebrows. Their unusual closeness was often cited as evidence of their creepy dynamic. This bond may have played a significant role in their sinister plot, with suspicions that they believed Elizabeth was attempting to disrupt their relationship. Their plotting took an even darker turn at a local McDonald's, where they chillingly discussed potential targets, including Kim's own mother and sister. The details of these discussions remain a haunting reminder of the unthinkable crime they would later commit. What made the Twilight Killers story even more lurid and grotesque were their actions after the double murder. Once the life had ebbed out of their victims, the young couple engaged in sexual acts in the living room, proceeding to enjoy a screening of Twilight with bowls of ice cream. The next day and a half saw them remaining at the murder scene, exchanging kisses and cuddles, while the bodies of Elizabeth and Katie lay lifeless upstairs. Their chilling spree was finally interrupted when their absence from school raised alarm. When the authorities forcefully entered the house, they were met with a sight of pure horror. Kim's disturbing recounting of their nonchalance after the act is truly shocking. "We felt pretty relaxed about what had happened. We didn't really feel any remorse," they admitted. This casual demeanor, even in the aftermath of such a horrific act, sent shudders down the spines of the most seasoned detectives. Their ability to maintain a semblance of normality for the next 36 hours, watching television, viewing a movie, and going about their daily activities in a house where 2 bodies lay upstairs is utterly unfathomable, remarked Detective Chief Inspector Martin Holby. Could Kim's horrifying acts have been the result of a long-standing grudge against her own family? Or perhaps it was the toxic dynamics she shared with Lucas, a twisted mirroring of the infamous Bonnie and Clyde? Kim's chillingly self-centered belief that she was actually bestowing a favor upon her mother and sister by executing them has caught the attention of notable criminologist David Wilson. He characterizes this chilling perception as an indication of a high level of psychopathy in this deeply disturbing case. In Kim's warped worldview, she believed she was sparing Katie from the heartbreak and all the emotions and stuff, and unburdening her mother from the perpetual worry about her well-being. Kim Edwards and Lucas Markham, the youngest ever duo convicted of double murder in British history, are now paying for their unforgivable crimes. They've been sentenced to spend the next 17 and a half years behind the sturdy bars of a prison cell, a stark contrast to their previous life of deceptive normality. What do you think, friends? Can there be any cogent reason why a seemingly normal teenage girl would methodically plot the slaughter of her own flesh and blood? Such thought processes twist and coil into a labyrinth of unfathomable motives. Following her incarceration, Kim shockingly admitted to nursing a deep, lifelong resentment towards her mother and sister's intimate bond, which she felt had left her ostracized and cast into emotional desolation. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more exciting contents like this one.